Welcome to lecture series on advanced geotechnical engineering. We are actually in module 3, lecture number 4. So we are actually discussing about the compressibility and consolidation in module 3, and we introduced ourselves to the Tarjagi's one dimensional consolidation, and then in the previous lecture we have deduced the consolidation equation, that is dou u by dou t is equal to Cv dou square u by dou z square, and this is for one dimensional consolidation, and this one dimensional consolidation is assumed to prevalent if a clay layer is subjected to large area loading on its surface. And if you are having a restrained or a finite dimensions a loaded area, then there is a possibility that the 3-dimensional consolidation can come. But however, we assume it like one dimensional consolidation, and then we try to solve the and calculate the settlements. So this example of the possibility of 3-dimensional consolidation, 2-dimensional 3-dimensional consolidation can be in a footing resting on a soft clay. So in the previous lecture we have deduced an equation dou u by dou t is equal to Cv dou square u by dou z square, and then the Cv is the coefficient of consolidation, and it is related, if you look into this, it is related with permeability and coefficient of volume compressibility. So the K, the coefficient of permeability or Darcy's permeability, as the Darcy's law is assumed to be valid, so K is equal to Cv mv gamma w. So if you look into this, if K is high, that means that the permeability is high, then the Cv will be high, then the time rate of settlements will be very high. If K is low, like say marine clay, where 1 into 10 to the power of minus 9 to 1 into 10 to the power of minus 10 meter per second, then the Cv will be very low, and then the consolidation will take long time. So this is the basic differential equation of the Tarjagi's one dimensional consolidation, and can be solved with proper boundary conditions. So we have solved this by assuming the proper boundary conditions, and this was obtained, and further we have assumed these boundary conditions that at time t is equal to 0, it is assumed that the load is instantaneously applied onto the surface of the soil. That is, at that time the initial excess pore water pressure within the soil is equal to U is equal to Ui is equal to delta sigma. Delta sigma is the increasing load which is applied on the surface of the soil. Then U is equal to 0 at Z is equal to 0, and U is equal to 0 at the Z is equal to Hi. That means that once the consolidation commences, moment the consolidation commences, the pore water pressure at the boundaries reduced to 0. This reasons we have discussed in previous lecture. So H is the longest drainage path. So if you are having a clay layer sandwiched between let us say sand layer at top and bottom, then if the thickness of the clay is say 2H, then top portion of 2H will flow toward the upper layer, and the bottom portion of H of the clay layer, the water in the bottom portion of the H of the clay layer will flow downward. So this is called double way drainage, that is the double way, that is two-way drainage, or two-way drainage, or it is also called as double open layer. In this case the consolidation will be relatively faster, and H will be equivalent to Ht if it is the thickness, then H will be equivalent to drainage path length is equivalent to H by 2 or Ht by 2, which is the effective drainage length. Let us assume that we are having rock base at the bottom, and upper layer is the sand layer, then all the way water flows for the entire thickness, so it takes longer time, then the Ht is equal to H. So that means that here the water flows for takes long time to reach to the boundary, and then it may take longer time if you are having a Cv which is actually very low value considering let us say we are having a low permeable soil. So from the above the general solution can be obtained, and this general solution is given by U, the excess pore water pressure is n is equal to 1 to n infinity a n sin n pi z by 2h exponential minus n square pi square Tv by 4. So Tv, the term what we are seeing is called the time factor, and which is nothing but Tcv by h square. T is the time required for a certain degree of consolidation, and Cv is the coefficient of consolidation, and H is equal to HDR square. HDR is the drainage path length. So to satisfy the first boundary condition, we must have the coefficient An such that Ui is equal to n to 1, n is equal to 1 to infinity An sin n pi z by 2h. This we have put as 5. Now equation 4 is a Fourier sine series, and An can be given by An is equal to 1 by h to 0 to 2h Ui sin n pi z by 2h dz. Combining equations previous slide 4 and 6, then we get an expression which is U is equal to n is equal to 1 to infinity 1 by h integral of 0 to 2h limits Ui, that is initial excess pore water pressure, sin n pi z by 2h dz bracket close into sin n pi z by 2h exponential of minus n square pi square Tv by 4. So the Tv is the non-dimensional time factor and is equal to Cvt by h square. That is what we have discussed. So far no assumptions have been made regarding the variation of Ua with the depth of the clay layer, but there are the number of variations which are actually possible for Ui with the depth. It can be the simplest thing which has been assumed by Terzaghi is that the constant variation of Ui with the depth, that is mostly used in all the solutions. That means that if Ui, if delta sigma load is applied, then is assumed that the excess water pressure is assumed to occur uniformly throughout its depth. But there are also some assumptions like Ui assumed to increase with like a parabolic shape, or it can be like a 0 at the top, and at the center it will be it is approximated like a triangle. So the different variations are there, but however we are actually discussing on the uniform variation of Ua with the depth. So this is actually shown in this slide where Ui is equal to U naught, which is actually for a doubly drainage layer, which is actually shown here. Hd is equal to 2h, Hd is equal to 2h. So this is for the doubly drainage layer. So this is what the initial excess pore water pressure which has actually increased upon loading. So if Ua is constant with depth, if that is Ua is equal to U0, then we can write 1 by h to the integral of 0 to 2h is equal to into Ui sin 2 pi z by 2h into dz is equal to 2 u naught by n pi into 1 minus cos n phi is equal to u naught. So this this will become like u is equal to n to 1 to infinity 2 u naught by n pi by 1 minus cos n phi and sin n pi z by 2h in exponential of minus n square pi square Tv by 4. Here note that the term 1 minus cos n pi is in the above equation is 0 for cases when n is even. When n is equal to 2, 4, 6, it is 0. So therefore u is also 0. For the non-zero terms, it is convenient to substitute n is equal to 2m plus 1, where m is an integer, m is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 it will take. So n is equal to 2m plus 1, which what we have assumed. So accordingly now what we write is that by putting in terms of m, then u is equal to m is equal to 0 to m infinity 2 u naught by 2m plus 1 by pi into 1 minus cos 2m plus 1 into pi sin 2m1 plus pi into pi z by 2h into exponential of minus 2m1. So we have substituted n is equal to m plus 1. So minus 2m plus 1 whole square pi square Tv by 4. So this we can write and simplify it like this with m is equal to 2m1 into pi by 2. So we can write u is equal to m ranges from 0 to infinity 2 u naught by m sin mz by h exponential of minus m square Tv where m is equal to 2m1 into pi by 2. So at a given time the degree of consolidation at any depth z within the clay layer, that is at z is equal to 0 at the top and z is equal to 2h at the bottom of the clay layer. If ht is equal to 2h, then in that case degree of consolidation at any depth is defined as excess pore water pressure dissipated to the initial excess pore water pressure. So initial excess pore water pressure is nothing but ui, that is the the excess pore water pressure dissipated divided by initial excess pore water pressure. So which is nothing but ui minus u by ui. So we can actually write like 1 minus u by ui, which is nothing but delta sigma dash by ui, which is nothing but delta sigma dash by u naught. So this is delta sigma dash is nothing but the net the stress which is actually the increase in incremental area which applied, and u naught is the initial excess pore water pressure. So by simplifying this one, uz is equal to when you write in terms of u, then u is equal to ui into 1 minus z. So from uz is equal to 1 minus u by ui. So if you look into this here, by knowing ui is nothing but the initial excess pore water pressure, that is let us say if you are assuming delta sigma is the increase in the effective state at a depth z due to consolidation, then this ui is equal to that much particular stress. So so the ui is equal to, let us say, if it is if a delta sigma of 100 kilopascal is applied and if the constant variation is assumed, then ui is equal to 100 kilopascals. Then uz is the degree of consolidation at that particular depth within the clay. So if you look into this with this now, where if you take at any time t slightly greater than t is equal to 0, then you can see this t is equal, the uz is equal to 1 because the moment at the boundaries the moment consolidation commences, and the boundaries are the one where respond to where the soil actually transfers the the water transfers the soil grains at the boundaries. So that the pore water pressure will get dissipated like 100%, and the increase in effective stress will be equal to delta sigma dash. So at any given time the degree of consolidation is given by uz, excess pore water pressure dissipated to the initial excess pore water pressure, and u is equal to ui into 1 minus uz. Now in most cases if we, however, we need to obtain the average degree of consolidation for the entire layer, and so generally though we have actually defined at uz, but most cases what we do is that we calculate the average degree of consolidation for the entire clay layer thickness. So in most cases we need to obtain the average degree of consolidation for the entire layer, and this is given by uav, that is the average degree of consolidation, is 1 by ht, because ht is the thickness of the clay layer, 0 to ht ui dz minus 1 by ht 0 to hi u dz divided by 1 by ht 0 to ht ui dz. So the solution of this is obtained as this system of curves which is shown here. Variation of uz with z by h and tv is actually shown here. Here the variation of uz with the depth for various values of non-dimensional time factors. So this t is nothing but tv, tv is 0.05, and this is tv is equal to 1 here, which is the degree of consolidation will be 1, that is tv is equal to here, which is per degree of consolidation is equal to 100%. So the variation of uz with the depth for various values of non-dimensional factors which is shown here, and these curves are also called as isochrones, and the diagrams which represents the successive stages of the process of consolidation by means of isochrones is also briefly called as piezographs. The diagrams which represent the successive stages of process of consolidation by means of isochrones will briefly be called as piezograph. That means that if we are actually having let us say the so called at t is equal to 0, that initial excess pore water pressure rises to from the hydrostatic pressure, the excess pore water pressure increases to say u naught plus delta u, and then it tries to fall in such a way that at the center of the clay layer the pore water pressure will remain yet to be dissipated, and then at the top and bottom boundaries, if it is open layers, then it dissipates rapidly. So the system of the migration of these curves, which is the system of successive stages of process of consolidation by means of isochrones, is actually called as piezographs. So let us consider an example based on the chart we have discussed, and in this consider the case of an initial excess hydrostatic pore water pressure that is constant with the depth. That is what we have assumed, that Ui is equal to U naught, and for Tv is equal to 0.3, determine the degree of consolidation at a depth Z by 3 measured from the top of the clay layer, that is Z is equal to H by 3. So we have derived the equation for the excess pore water pressure as in terms of U is equal to m0 to m infinity 2 U naught by m, capital M, sin mz by h exponential of minus m square Tv, where m is equal to 2m1 into pi by 2. So here Z is equal to h by 3 or Z by h is equal to 1 by 3 and m is equal to 2m plus 1 by 2. So m is equal to 2m plus 1 into 5 by 2 here, 5 by 2. So here what we do is that we have given the solution in terms of a table where Z is equal to h by 3 and Z is equal to Z by h is equal to 1 by 3, m is equal to 2m plus 1 into pi by 2. So here what we do is that for different values of m, for example, if you see m is equal to 0, then m is equal to 0 means it is like 3 pi by 2. That m is equal to 0 here, that means that this will become m is capital M will become pi by m is equal to 1 here, that 3 plus 1 3 pi by 2, that is correct. M is equal to 0, it is pi by 2, and m is equal to 3, it is m is equal to 2, it is 5 pi by 2. So this capital M value is pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 and 5 pi by 2. So what we have given is that we have given 0, 1, 2, 3 like that. This we have to see whether where it will be, we can actually stop this iteration. And Z by h is 1 by 3, that is constant. Tv what we wanted is 0.3, and mz by h, after having got this one, Z by 3 is Z by h is equal to 1 by 3. So mz by h is pi by 6, pi by 2, 5 pi by 6. Then 2 by m 1.273, 1.424, an exponential of minus m square Tv, we have got this, sin mz by h, that is also obtained here. Then the equation which is gives that 0.3036, 0.0005, 0005 and almost equal to 0. So when you summate these things, you do this and this summation, it comes to 0.3041. So that means that the value of 0.3041 calculated in step 9 above is the degree of consolidation at depth Z by 3. So that means that UH by 3 is equal to 1 minus 0.3041, that is 69.59% of consolidation has already occurred. That means that 69.59% of consolidation is already occurred. So UH by 3 is equal to 1 minus 0.3041, which is nothing but 0.6951, which is nothing but 69.59%. So here what we are actually doing is that we actually have calculated. Now this we can actually also see from the chart here for Z. So this is Z is equal to 0 and Z by h is equal to 1. So Z by h is equal to 1 by 3. So somewhere here we can actually pick up for Tv is equal to 0.3, so 0.2 and 0.3. So we can see that the value of this the UZ value will be about 0.69 here, 0.69 here between this is for 0.3 and this one, it is about 0.69. So the U is equal to initial excess pore water pressure, the excess pore water pressure which is yet to be dissipated is equal to Ui into 1 minus Uz. So Uz is the degree of consolidation. So now if you look into this, suppose let us say if 0.31 times Ui is yet to be dissipated, that means that 16% of the pore water pressure already got dissipated, excess pore water part got dissipated and is transferred to the soil grains, and 35% is yet to be dissipated at that particular depth. Z by H is equal to 1 by 3. So this is how we use these charts for determining this the consolidation at any depth, but for we actually also have the average degree of consolidation generally we take, but this is an example with determining the consolidation this for time factor of TV. That means that after certain time of our application of certain initial UI, then we are calculating that as the time factor TV. For that we have determined what is the degree of consolidation at a particular depth, Z is equal to H by 3 by using the equation with what we derived, and it also tells that if m greater than 3 is actually this almost like the degree of consolidation which is obtained is negligible, hence we can actually stop at this particular iteration with m is equal to 2. Now the Terzaghi's one dimensional consolidation, as we are talking about the average degree of consolidation, we let us define that the average degree of consolidation is also the ratio of the consolidation settlement at any time to the maximum consolidation settlement. Note that in this case if Ht is equal to H, Ui is equal to U naught. So combining the following equations, U is equal to m to 0 summation 2 U naught by m sin mz exponential minus m square TV, and UAV where we have just now defined that 1 by Ht 0 to Ht Ui dz minus 1 by Ht 0 to Ht U dz by 1 by Ht U 0 to Ht Ui dz. So combining these two equations and then completing the integration, we will get the expression for average degree of consolidation as follows: UAV is equal to 1 minus m0, m ranges from 0 to infinity summation 2 by m square exponential of minus m square TV, where m is equal to 2m plus 1 small m into pi by 2, where TV is the time factor which is nothing but TCV by H square. So Terzaghi suggested the following equation for UAV to the approximate values from the UAV is equal to 1 minus m ranges summation of m ranges from m0 to infinity 2 by m square exponential of minus m square TV. So for UAV is equal to 0 to 53%, that is actually 52.6%, it is rounded to 53%. In some references also say that 60%, but let us say according to Terzaghi it is UAV is equal to 0 to 53%, TV is equal to 5 by 4 UAV by 100 whole square. And then for UAV greater than 53 or equal to 53 to 100%, the TAV is given by 1 minus 1.781 minus 0.933 within square brackets log 100 minus UAV percentage, the parenthesis close, the square brackets close. So the UAV expression is given here, which is TV is equal to 1.781 minus 0.933. So there is a reason for giving this. So if you plot the logarithmic of this TV, the time factor with UAV, then we will get a curve which is shown like this. The curve represents, the curve goes like this. Initially the initial part of the curve looks like parabola, and then it beyond 90%, 95%, it will try to take the shape of the, it will get asymptote with the horizontal. So you can see that this is asymptote here which is shown here. So this indicates that the consolidation will never complete this infinitely long consolidation, and up to 53% or so, if this is the initial portion of the parabola, and when you extend the tangent it goes and hits at the negative the TV, and this is this resembles the equation of a parabola. That is the reason why u by 100 u percentage by 100 is equal to root over 4 CV by pi h square root t. So this is the equation of parabola, and this is the initial part of you can say that primary for the consolidation up to 60%, this is actually valid. And for this graph or this condition is actually for two conditions. One is that open layer at top and bottom, and initial excess pore water pressure is constant. Initial excess pore water pressure is constant with the depth. So this particular graph will actually beyond that it actually straightens, and beyond 90% you can see that this gets asymptotic. So the explanation for this is given like this, for values of u greater than 52.6 which is rounded as 53% of the log TV versus u curve is almost identical with a curve with the equation that is for greater than that. So that is the reason why this curve was suggested by Terzaghi, this particular equation is suggested, where for values greater than 52.6 the curve the curve is actually almost identical with the curve with the equation TV is equal to 1.781 minus 0.933 log 100 minus UAV. So it should also be noted that the radius of curvature of the curve u percentage versus log TV increases steadily until u becomes approximately equal to 50, then decreases once and assumes a second minimum at u is equal to 85. So the curve thus obtained has a point of inflection at about u is equal to 75. So the point of inflection is about at that particular point where you have got one curvature here and you have got another curvature here, that is about 75% somewhere here. And in the vicinity of u is equal to 95 it flattens rapidly, that is what we are saying, and approaches a horizontal asymptote corresponding to u 100%. So on overall the curve represents an equation, we can say that log of base 10 TV log TV is equal to function of u percentage, log TV to the base 10 is a function of u percentage. So the substituting TV is equal to TCV by h square, so we can write log TV is equal to log of base 10 TCV by h square. When you apply the log for both sides we can write log T to the base 10 plus log CV by h square. So we can say that as CV and the thickness are constant, so that is constant. So we have log TV to the base 10 is equal to log T, that is the time required for consolidation, is equal to function of u, that is the degree of consolidation. So if the degree of consolidation of the two beds of the clay with the different values of CV by h square is plotted against the logarithm of time, the time consolidation curves thus obtained have the same shape, but they are separated from each other by horizontal distance, which is nothing but log to the base 10 CV by h square. So this equation implies whatever we have written, like log TV to the base 10 is equal to log T, that is time required for consolidation, to the base 10 plus constant is equal to function of u percent. It implies that if the degree of consolidation of the two clay beds with the different values of CV by h square is plotted against the logarithm of time, the time consolidation curves thus obtained have the same shape, but they are separated for each other by a horizontal distance, which is nothing but log of to the base 10 CV by h square. For TV by t is equal to 1, the time that is the TV by t is equal to 1, the time consolidation curve becomes identical with the time factor consolidation curve. So that hence because that is the reason why we use this, because you can see that TV by t for TV by t is equal to 1, the time consolidation curve becomes identical with the time factor consolidation curve. So this important property of semi-logarithmic time consolidation graph facilitates the comparison of empirical consolidation curves with theoretical standard curves for the purpose of detecting deviations of real process from the theoretical ones. So therefore in many cases the semi-logarithmic plot is preferable to the arithmetic plot. So the important property of this semi-logarithmic time consolidation curve facilitates the comparison of the empirical consolidation curves with a theoretical standard curve for the purpose of detecting the deviations of the real process from the theoretical one. So let us take an example again where we have got a soil strata which is gamma 19.5 kilon per meter cube, that is the unit weight here, the water table is here, and this is the proposed fill, and this is the soil strata, this is the ground surface. On this the soil is to be proposed to be reclaimed for a height of 5 meters. Now we will consider before fill and short term after fill, long term after fill. So we wanted to calculate what is the effective stress at point A. So here this is the silty sand layer and this is water table, that is 1 meter below the ground surface, and once the fill is placed then it will become like 6 meter, but then this will become the new ground surface, and below the fill, that is the gamma which is given, that is saturated 19 kilo per meter cube, and 16.5 kilo per meter cube is the unit weight of the clay, and the depth at below point A is located is 4.8 meter vertically, the clay layer is 12 meter, and so before placement of the fill the total stress can be calculated. We know that that is 18.7, that is before placement of fill, so this will not be there, 18.7 into 1 plus 19 into 2, that is this thickness, plus 16.5 into 4.8. So we are actually interested in at this point, so that is 136 kilopascals, and the pore water pressure at point A by taking U gamma is equal to 9.81 kilo per meter cube, 9.81, that is 2 plus 4.8, 67 kilopascals. So the initial effective stress is 69 kilopascals shortly after placing the fill. Now sigma A becomes now 136 plus 19.5 into 5, that is 234 kilopascals. Now the the delta sigma is increased by about 100 kilopascals. Then UA is equal to UA naught plus delta U. So the UA is which is nothing but that is 67, that is initial hydrostatic pressure, plus that shortly after placing the fill, entire the pore water pressure is the drainage actually has not yet started. So 19.5 into 5, so pore water pressure is 165 kilopascals, and as the drainage is not yet started, the effective stress will remain constant. So because of that, sigma dash A is equal to sigma A minus U, that is 69 kilopascals. Now long term after the fill, assuming that the clay undergoes consolidation and the complete consolidation has occurred, then what will happen is that now the total stress is 234 kilopascals and the pore water pressure drops down to 67 kilopascals. This was provided there is no change in the groundwater table levels. This UA is equal to UA naught is equal to 67 kilopascals. Now sigma dash A is nothing but now sigma A minus UA. Now we can see that now this particular effective stress at this point, after a certain after elapsing the time required for the completion of consolidation, the soil gained the strength by the increasing the enhancement of the effective stress by the amount which is nothing but 136 to the 69 to 167 kilopascals. So it is about the effective stress increased by almost 2 times. So this is actually given this solution, this is the solution, but is actually given in a graphical form where the construction period, though instantaneous loading is assumed, but the fills are actually constructed over a period of time. So we will be also in this lecture the ramp loading will be considered. So this is the so called the construction period, and this is the delta sigma, which is nothing but this is maintained constant. So when we place this one and there is an increasing initial excess pore water pressure and then the consolidation occurs, that means that the pore water pressure dissipates. Now what we have done is that we actually calculated the effective stress gradually as the excess pore water pressure dissipates, the effective stress keeps on increasing. So this is actually whatever before and after and shortly after the fill, that is at this point, and then after a long term after the fill. So this is actually at this point. So this indicates this actually shows this example in a pictorial form. Now take another example wherein we have a soil strata which is shown here, and we have the sand layer at the top. So this is the sand layer and this is the sand layer at the bottom, dense sand layer. So this is called double open layers, that means the 2 layer system where the clay is sandwiched between 2 layers, and the water table is 1.5 meter below the ground level, and the clay is of having 12 meter thickness. So 0 to 12 meters is the clay thickness. This is the top of the clay, this is bottom of the clay, and 6 meters is the mid of the clay layer. And in this actually proposed fill is about delta sigma is equal to 100 kilopascals or kilo per meter square, and the E naught and initial water content, the properties are given, but important what we use in this is that CV, coefficient of consolidation, is 8 into 10 to the power of minus 8 meter square per second. So here the pore water pressure in clay after 5 years is actually can be given like this. The pore water pressure that is for clay after 5 years, so if you look into this, so this is the initial excess pore water pressure, wherein what we can say is that this is the water table. So at 0, so 3 plus 2, 150 kilopascals will be there. So this is the initial excess pore water pressure. This is provided if there is no the disturbance of the soil on this particular area, then the hydrostatic pore water pressure conditions are prevalent. But if this clay layer is subjected to certain type of fill and randomly, and then there can be the pore water pressure can be more than the hydrostatic pressures. But assuming that if there are no such activities, then we actually have got this variation. Then at time t is equal to 0, once we apply at the pore water pressure increases to 130 kilopascals here, and here it is because ui is equal to delta sigma is equal to 100 kilopascals, so it increases to 250 kilopascals or kilonewton per meter square. So this is the first isochron at t is equal to 0. So what will happen is that the clay undergoes consolidation over a period of time. So we wanted to know what will be the pore water pressures in clay after 5 years. After, so moment the once the load is applied and if no drainage is actually taking place, then the pore water pressure in the upper region is 0 to 30, and then increase to 130 and then 250. It actually this is at immediately after placing the fill. So this is immediately after placing the fill. So now consider this particular portion only. So this will be the final isochrone, and this will be the first isochrone. This is the first isochrone, and this will be the final isochrone, which can happen once 100% consolidation, which is not possible, and if that happens, then that is going to achieve. Now using TV is equal to TCV by HDR square, and for T is equal to 5 years, we can write CV in terms of meter square per year when you convert. Then so this is 3.1536 into 10 to the power of 7 meter square per year, and HDR is equal to 2H by 2, that is 12 by 2, that is double drainage, and TV can be obtained as 0.35. Now what we can actually calculate is that at Z is equal to 0 meters, 3 meters, 6 meters, 9 meters, 12 meters means at these depths, that is 0, 3, 6, 9 and 12, what is the the degree of consolidation. So by not assuming as the UZ, we will try to find out. So this can be obtained from the chart which we have given, but UZ is equal to 100%, UZ is equal to 61, and UZ is equal to 46%, UZ is equal to 61%. So this is at 3 meters, this is at 9 meters, and these are the top and bottom. So you can see that this 100% consolidation has already occurred. So these are obtained like this here. For this is the top of the clay, Z is equal to 0 meters for the top of the clay, and Z is equal to HT is equal to H meters below the for the top of, for the bottom of the clay. This is the bottom of the clay. So we can actually find out here at Z by H is equal to 1. Let us say Z by H is equal to 1. For TV is equal to, we have got as 0.35. So for that we can actually obtain UZ is equal to 0.46. So for the Z by H is equal to 1, which is nothing but here UZ is equal to 0.56. This is how we are to obtain. So by using U is equal to UI into 1 minus UZ, at Z is equal to 0 meters, U is equal to 0 kilopascals, and 3 meters, 6 meters, 9 meters and 12 meters if you look into it. So what we can actually do is that this 39 kilopascals, 54 kilopascals and 0, the 0, 39, 54, 39, 0, this is the pore water pressure which is yet to be dissipated. That means that what we have found out is that this excess pore water pressure which is yet to be dissipated is obtained, and this is actually after 5 years. So we actually calculate the time factor based on the T after applying the surcharge of 100 kilopascals, what will be the the pore water pressure in the soil. So this exercise actually has helped us to plot this isochrone after 5 years. This is the excess pore water pressure yet to be dissipated. So you can see that this is at Z by H is equal to 1, that is this at this point. So this is z by at 3 meters, and this is at 6 meters, 9 meters, and this is at 12 meters, and this is at top. So this system of the migration of the isochrones actually happens here, and this portion which is actually ashed with light blue lines, this actually shows that that portion is already transferred to the soil grains. That means that the water pressure, the excess pore water pressure already transferred to soil grains, and the portion within this within this zone is at to be dissipated. So the system of these isochrones is actually called as piezographs, and so we can actually draw innumerable number of piezochrones, isochrones as we actually traverse from 0 years to let us say that second year can be here, third year can be here, and maybe after 10 years it can be here. So in this example what we have done is that we have tried to calculate what is the excess pore water pressure after let us say 5 years of time period. So by what we have done is that we actually have used this the solution of the differential equation of the one dimensional consolidation theory, and then we try to use that and then try to find these the pore water, excess pore water pressure to be dissipated after certain period of time. Now consider now as has been told here that the loading which is we assume that suppose if you are having a clay layer of certain thickness, Ht is equal to 2H, and if you are having a double layer at both top and bottom, that is porous layer, and then groundwater table is at this point here, and if you are actually trying to put the fill, is not possible to instantaneously, which actually can happen at time t is equal to 0. So there is in fact in this particular 0 to Tc, that is Tc is the time required for construction. So for filling up to height, and particularly if the soil is very soft, it is not possible to load the entire this fill in one go. We have to do it in different stages. So in a way what will happen is that it requires certain time period of construction. That means that what we can do is that what one need to do is that you have to fill a certain height H1 and wait for certain time, and again fill for H2, wait for certain time. So that waiting period is called waiting period of for dissipating the excess pore water pressure which actually has occurred for a given weight. So for a given fill height. So once we do that incremental stage wise construction, then we can actually achieve that. So the Wolfson 1977 presented a mathematical solution for one dimensional consolidation due to a single ramp load. But if you are actually assuming the instantaneous load, then the we will be actually looking into that, wherein it actually has got a the deviation from the the instantaneous load conditions. So Wolfson 1977 have given a mathematical solution for one dimensional consolidation due to a single ramp load, where the stage wise loading has not been considered, wherein a single ramp has been constructed and with time Tc. But when you look into the this can be approximated when you have got multiple stages. Let us say that the QC is reached in QC1, QC2 and QC3, and where final QC3, QC1 plus QC2 plus QC3 is equal to QC, then if you take the same slope and that can be approximated. But this is for a single ramp load where Tc is the construction time for placing the fill or attaining QC. So the expression for the excess pore water pressure for the case where Ui is equal to U0 is given by that is what we have derived, that U is equal to m is equal to 0 to m infinity 2 U0 by m, capital M, sin mz by h into exponential of minus m square dV, where m is equal to 2 m plus 1 into pi by 2. As stated above, the applied load is the function of time, and q is equal to function of time, where T suffix a, where Ta is the time of application of any load. So for differential load dq applied at any time Ta, the instantaneous pressure increase will be dui is equal to dq. Whatever has been applied, that will be mobilized, that is dui is equal to dq. So at time t, the remaining excess pore water pressure du at depth z can be given by the expression du is equal to m to the raise 0 to infinity. Substitute now for u naught to du by m sin mz by h exponential of minus m square Cv t minus Ta divided by h square. So, Ta is the the time of application of any load. So, now by simplifying this we can get m is equal to 0 to infinity to substituting for dui is equal to dq. So, 2 dq by m sin mz by h exponential of minus m square Cv into t minus Ta by h square, and this is termed as equation A. Then the equation B is obtained by calculating the average degree of consolidation, which is settlement at time t is equal to settlement at time t is equal to infinity. So, UAV is equal to alpha QC minus 1 by HT 0 to HT U dz by QC, where alpha QC is the total load per unit area applied at the time of the analysis, and the settlement at time t is equal to infinity is of course the ultimate settlement. So, t is equal to infinity means the ultimate settlement, and settlement at any time t is the average degree of consolidation. So, note that the term QC in the denominator is equal to instantaneous excess pore water pressure Ua is equal to QC that might have been generated throughout the clay layer had the stress QC has been applied instantaneously. So, that is the the QC is the alpha QC actually accounts that the partially generated the factor alpha indicates the partial generation of the applied excess pore water pressure in the soil. So, for the proper integration of equations A and B, what we get is that for TV time factor less than or equal to Tc, then u is nothing but 0 to infinity m 0 to infinity 2 QC by m cube Tc sin mz 1 exponential of 1 minus exponential of minus m square Tv, and UAV can be obtained as Tv by Tc 1 minus 2 by Tv m 0 to infinity to 1 by m to the power of 4 1 minus exponential of minus m square Tv, and similarly for Tv greater than, that is time factor greater than the time of construction, and which is actually given here. So, where Tv is equal to Tc, that is the time required for the construction of a particular fill of having intensity QC, Cv by h square. Now, this is actually given in the form of a charts here for plot against the time factor for single ramp loading, and this plot is for Tv, that is time factor, and for different Tc. So, Tc is equal to nothing but Tc T suffix c Cv by h square. So, if you know the Tv and then by knowing the construction period, then you can actually calculate what is the average degree of consolidation. So, here the the construction time actually has been accounted here. So, we look into an example here wherein we can say that based on the one dimensional consolidation test results on a clay, the coefficient of consolidation for the pressure range was obtained as 8 into 10 to the power of minus 3 meters mm square per second. In the field there is a 2 meter thick layer of same clay with a two-way drainage. So, based on the assumption that a uniform surcharge of 70 kN per meter square was to be applied instantaneously, the total consolidation settlement was calculated as 150 mm. However, during the construction the loading was gradual, and the resulting surcharge can be approximated as Q in kilonewton per meter square as 70 by 60 with the time t, and time t measured in days. So, estimate the settlement at time t is equal to 3 days, 30 days and 120 days after beginning of construction, that means that after beginning of construction. So, in this if you see that Tc is given as the time of construction is actually given as 60 days. So, based on the one dimensional consolidation test on a clay, where here in this case the load is not actually placed instantaneously. If the load would have been placed instantaneously, the settlement was actually calculated as 150 mm, but if for the given properties of the soil which is actually considered, but if the load is actually placed over a period of time, and if that is actually approximated as 70 by 60 into t in where t measured in t in dimensions are in days, then we can actually, what is actually has been asked is that the settlement at 30 and 120 days after beginning of the construction. So, here Tc is equal to Cv Tc by h square. So, where Tc is the time required for the time of construction of a ramp load, and now by taking Tc is equal to 60 days, which is nothing but 60 into 24 into 60 into 60, then it is nothing but we actually converted into this time of construction into seconds, and Ht, the thickness, the clay is very shallow in thickness. Ht is equal to 2 meters, it is equal to 2H is a two-way drainage, and H is equal to 1 meter, that is 1000 mm. So, by substituting we can actually get Tc as 0.0414 and time t as 30 days. So, for a time t is equal to 30 days, what we get is that Tv is obtained as 0.0207. So, time factor for which accounts the construction time of an ramp load is T suffix c, which is for a time of construction of the ramp is 60 days. So, that has been calculated, and time at time t of 30 days, and by time conventional time factor is actually obtained as 0.0207. Now, what we have to do is that from the chart which we have obtained for Tv of 0.0207 and Tc of 0.0414, what is the average degree of consolidation? Once you know the average degree of consolidation, then ultimate settlement is what we have defined in this case also is 150 mm. That means that up to 30 days only 7.5 mm of settlement takes place. Up to 30 days of as the construction is actually proceeding, halfway of the construction period, only 7.5 mm of settlement takes place. So, how it is been calculated for, let us say that we will see for for 60 days, if you look into it, for Tv is equal to 0.083 and Tc is equal to 0.014, we can see that we will get this UAV is equal to 27%, that is actually here. So, this chart is for Tv and Tc, different curves are here. So, this is actually valid for, this is after Wolfson 1977, this is the plot against the time factor of the single ramp loading. The ramp loading, single ramp load in the sense that the ramp loading actually has taken place in a single phase. So, this is for 120 days. Here similarly what we have done is that for 120 days we calculated Tv, and then for we have determined Tc, that is for the we actually have got initially, that is from here for the 60 days of construction we have got 0.414, then for Tv of 0.8083 and Tc of 0.44, we can say that this is the average degree of consolidation about 27%, and once we know the average degree of consolidation, so that means that after 120 days of construction the fill, it is actually has got 40.5 mm of settlement only. So, this shows the marked difference of assumption of an instantaneous loading as well as the so called the ramp loading conditions. So, once having looked into that, the limitations of one dimensional consolidation can be seen in the derivation of one dimensional equation. The permeability of Kz and coefficient of volume compressibility are assumed to be constant, but as the consolidation progresses, void spaces decrease and this results in the decrease of permeability, therefore, the permeability is not constant. So, coefficient of volume compressibility changes with the stress level, therefore, Cv is not constant. Similarly, the flow is assumed to be one dimensional, but in reality flow is three dimensional, and the application of external load is assumed to be produce excess pore water pressure over the entire soil stratum, but in some cases the excess pore water pressure does not develop over the entire clay stratum. So, what we have done in this particular lecture is that we continued the theory of Darjagie's theory of one dimensional consolidation, and we have seen the ramp loading, and we deduced the equations and then relevant equations, and we also have solved the couple of example problems as an application for what we studied. And then finally, we have looked into the limitations of one dimensional consolidation theory, wherein we said that there is some parameters which are actually assumed like permeability, coefficient of compressibility are assumed to be constant, but as the consolidation progress is actually happening, void spaces decrease and the result in decrease in permeability, therefore the permeability is not constant, and similarly the value of the CV is actually not constant. So further we will actually look into the different aspects of consolidation in subsequent lecture.